in history, we've never judged the artist by the tool they were using. Like we've never said, what paintbrush are you using? What software are you using?
Mhm.
And now you're seeing a lot of pushback on people saying, oh, you're using AI. That's not, you're not a real musician. You're not.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dunback Meadow podcast, the show where creators come to reclaim the value of their work. I am your host, Lauren Wixom, and today's episode is brought to you by Dunback Meadow, the platform where artists, musicians, designers, and AI creators can upload their work, set their own terms, and turn their work into income. Now, I am excited to introduce our guest for today's show. He is a sound and visual artist exploring the future of creative infrastructure. With over a decade in IT and workflow systems, he approaches music not just as art, but as architecture, building immersive visual worlds around instrumental compositions. His work experiments with AI-assisted production and blockchain-based provenance to rethink ownership, distribution, and sustainable models for independent creators. Welcome, Ravi Supaul.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Lauren. Appreciate your time and your energy here.
Of course, we appreciate you being here. We're excited to share you with our community and share your art and hear your story. So let's just jump right in. And
Sure.
I already have it at the bottom. Share your artist journey.
Sure.
How'd you get your start in the music scene?
So in the music scene, when I was 16, I started DJing. This lasted for about 10 years. And this was what started out with a bunch of friends, traveled around different universities, different places. And it was a great time. And that's sort of
Awesome.
that was like my foundation in music.
Did you play
Um,
at all the like frat parties?
yeah, we played
Yeah.
a lot of different parties. But again, it was mainly like networking. It was just a good time when you're younger to just get out and sort of explore. So it was fun. Fast forward to 2020, right? The world was paused for a second there, and that was really my time to not to get back into the music scene. I had stepped away, in terms of not just DJing. Now, this was building compositions, music, instrumentals. My artist name is Lo-Fi Rav, and I build lo-fi ambient music, different genres, hip hop, house, R&B. There's classical as well. But yeah, 2020 was the moment for me to pause and reflect, and I found myself creating more music again, just for myself. I would have it on in the background as I was working. About a year ago is when I started diving into the visual stuff, and I had this catalog of tracks that I had put together, which is available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. 32 songs that I've listened to, and it wasn't really made for anyone else. It was just sort of my own vibe.
Mhm.
But then pairing these with visuals a year later really became something that whether or not I monetize, like this is for me, this is my opportunity to just create and share. And yeah, so I've been exploring with different AI tools for the music production aspect, but then I've also been diving into different animation tools for the visuals, and that leads us to today, where the sound and visuals are hand in hand, and I'm building stuff for myself, but also helping others as well, seeing if they want to, build visual worlds around the music they
Mhm.
put out.
That's awesome. Sounds like we're going to have to collaborate in the future.
Absolutely, absolutely. Whenever you're ready.
Oh, yeah. I've actually listened to some of your tracks and I really enjoyed what I heard. So, as some of y'all who have been watching the podcast for a while know, I really love lo-fi. Spotify rap came back last year. Actually, for the last 2 or 3 years, my top genre was lo-fi. So, lo-fi girl at heart. I love like chill hop, lo-fi girl.
Yes.
Isn't there like lo-fi boy now?
There is.
Okay.
Yeah. There are so many different artists coming out, and yeah.
So I love what I've heard from you. I love the chill vibes, and I also love the visuals of it as well. And I think it's really cool that you use AI. And I know a lot of people kind of hesitate when they say I use AI because I feel like more often than not, at least from what I have heard, it gets a bad rep. Like it's like, oh, you use AI, you're not a real artist. But I mean, I had Carl Cleanthus on a couple episodes ago, and like he does art for a living. Like he's done art for sci-fi. He's done partnerships with SpongeBob, and I mean, he didn't use AI for that work, but like for his personal work, like he used AI as kind of like a foundation, and then he put his own original spin on it.
Absolutely.
So, and that seems like that's what you actually do.
That's exactly it. I think the tools are available, but it's like the intent behind it still very much matters. It needs the human direction behind it, and
Mhm.
that's just my take on it.
Got you. So, what does your workflow actually look like in terms of like the AI? Like, do you use it first? Like, do you have like a concept in your head? You throw it into whatever platform you use, it spits something out, and then you add your own spin to it? Or do you create your own thing first, add it in, and like, you know how like with ChatGPT, you go back and forth until you get what you
Yes.
want?
Yes. So there's a lot of back and forth. So
Mhm.
so for example, the platform that I really enjoy using for music is Udio.
Udio.
And yeah, and basically you can generate tracks like small sections at a time. So let's just say
Okay.
you want a flute, you want a hip hop beat, you can start something out, and then you listen to it. I don't really like that. I like that, and then
Mhm.
you can fine tune it to where you want to take the song. And
Right.
so for me, a lot of it is back and forth.
Mhm.
Um, some projects go really quickly, others take a little bit of time, but it's
Right.
like I kind of build just from inspiration, like, okay, how am I feeling in this moment? Like for example, 2020 was a big thing for all of us. and
Yes.
and for me, one of the first tracks I came up with was with a track called Pause. So for me, I was just in that moment coming up with this. It's got like I would really like for you to hear it at some point.
Yeah. No,
um
I'm gonna check it out.
yeah, and so for me, so for that was it took a little bit, but it hit on all the things that I wanted it to sound like and feel like. And then naturally the visuals came right behind it. And for the visuals, I use Kling, I use Google VO.
Yep.
um, but again, the tech stack is always changing, evolving, because there's so many really cool tools that are available to us. So the tools are never permanent. I feel like, especially in this day and age, like there's so many new things
Definitely.
coming out. You have to be able to explore. But I think for
Oh yeah.
artists or any creatives, this is, for me, the more tools available, the more you have the chance to explore and just see what
Mhm.
sort of resonates with you the most.
Exactly. Okay, so pause. We'll definitely link that also so everyone can check it out. I'm gonna check it out. I'm excited for that.
Sure.
The name's so fitting too, because like 2020, like the world basically came to a stop. You had no
That's
choice but to pause and reassess and kind of take in what's happening in the world because there's a lot of confusion, a lot of darkness.
Yes.
Um, and even in some ways, like there was a lot of happiness. Like it did bring some people home and they were able to spend time with their family. Um,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I think this is a case of just perspective. Some people saw it as a very, you could say, dark, but you can also say
yeah.
it really changed the projection, because I know a lot of people who have pivoted in their careers, or who have
Yep.
rethought like their family structure, time with
Yep.
kids and things like this.
Hmm.
So it really was a time for all of us to pause and just, okay, where do we go from here?
Exactly. No, I love that. And I think, in terms of AI and like how tools have changed, I think one great example would be like that viral video of Will Smith. I think this is like the beginning
Oh,
stages of AI.
yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He
To
was
see how
eating,
far it's
what was
come,
it?
eating the spaghetti, right?
Spaghetti. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
I think, I don't remember what platform they used for that, but I think they did it again. I don't know if the same person did it or somebody else, but that video was made again and it looks 20 times more realistic than it did at the beginning. I mean, you can still tell it's AI, but I can
It,
only
it
imagine using.
it just goes to show how quickly the technology is changing. And I think it's getting to that point where it's like it's so rapid now that yeah, I mean, Hollywood has to rethink some things. I think a lot of industries are going to be
Mhm.
impacted by this. But I mean, hey, for creators like you and I, it opens the doors for experimentation and other minds and other perspectives to come into the space.
I guess that comes to my next question. So, what do you think people misunderstand most about artists who use AI?
I think and this is never like in history, we've never judged the artist by the tool they were using. Like, we've never said, what paintbrush are you using, what software are you using.
Mhm.
And now you're seeing a lot of pushback on people saying, oh, you're using AI, that's not, you're not a real musician, you're not. Technology changes. It With AI, it you could absolutely generate AI slop, as they call it, right?
Yeah.
If you're just gonna make me a song that sounds like this artist and put it out there, cool. But like, if you're really in this to create or maybe monetize or whatever you need to put your own sauce on it, right? Like it you have that intent has to be there. And so I would say that like any new piece of technology, I just feel like we're assessing the tool and not the output, and that's where the judgment should be.
Wow. I absolutely love that point of view. And that completely shifted my way of thinking with AI. I mean, I was never one to be like, oh, boo, AI. Because obviously, like I mentioned, my friend Carl, and even I use AI to help me with my music. I think I view AI as a tool for those that maybe don't have access to, I guess, your more traditional tools. So I guess in my
Absolutely.
case, as an artist, I can produce my own music, but
Yes.
I don't personally have the time to go. I mean, I could go in there and completely from scratch make my own song, but that would take me 10 times longer to put something original out versus if I had a producer. But then producers also cost money. They have to, eat and sleep under a roof
Yes.
as
Yes.
well. So I feel like for the time being, instead of paying a producer, I would rather pay $10 a month on Suno and have Suno help me create something. And I mean, I'm putting my own voice on top of it, and then I also add like some of my own instrumentals into the production. But Suno
Absolutely.
just helped me create an original 10 times faster and then
Yeah.
also 10 times better than if I were to do it on my own.
And I think this is exactly what's happening. It's just because it's the technology has changed, it's shifting workflows, traditional artists. This is new for traditional artists as well. So it's easy to criticize, it's easy to say, "Oh, but that's not." But in actuality, like you just touched on something very important, which is you've lowered the barrier for entry to people who may not have had the resources to explore. And I'm like, man, if I'm a parent, I have kids, and so like I'm nudging them in the direction of explore, because this is what these tools are here to do. Like,
Mm-hmm.
again, it's just a lot of judgment comes from the tools and not the output. And there are
Mm-hmm.
some incredible artists that are you're able to scale, just like you said, you're able to scale your
Mm-hmm.
music, you're able to put out really good quality music,
Mm-hmm.
and at a fraction of the price. And like, this is what we should be doing, in my opinion. We all the creative tools are on the table. If we can make them accessible to have people experiment, this is a win for everyone involved.
Exactly. And I think, just in terms of like using music as an example, it's not that I don't ever want to work with a producer. Of course, I would love to support my fellow producers and, just support them in that way. But once I get the resources to actually do that consistently and at the speed that I need to make sure that my music is getting out there how I want, I have to do what I got to do.
You
So,
got to do what you got to do. And but also, I would say, is like your producer or whoever you're leaning on for your music, they should also be at least experimenting with AI, because this will
definitely, that'll
improve
help
their own
them.
workflows. Yeah, exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
Okay. I didn't know that you were a dad. How many kids do you have?
Yeah, so I have twin girls. They're 8 years old.
Oh, that's so cute.
Well, like I was saying, 2020 was a real time of reflection, because we had them, like, and maybe this is going off topic here for the podcast, but
Nah.
I think it was like at the time the girls were so 22. They were born in 2017. So in
Mhm.
2020, when that happened, we had them in a day program, right? So they're two and
Yeah.
a half. My wife would drop them off at 7:30. I would pick them up at 5. But like, they were young and they were in this program
Yeah.
like daily. And so when COVID happened, I was like, I was talking to Barbara, I'm like, we need, like, this should not be it. We need more time with them. We need
Yeah.
to recalibrate things.
Yeah.
And so that again, I pivoted in my own career. Like I said, I worked in IT. I did support, communications, training. But then when AI launched, I stepped into consulting.
Mhm.
And now I'm still doing consulting, but also this is where this is where I want to be, creating music, visuals, but in this world. As you know, like, it doesn't really feel like work when you're creating something that resonates with you.
That represents you. No, exactly. I feel like everyone's striving for that too. It's like everyone wants to find meaning in life, and everyone has dreams, and it's such a blessing when you're able to merge like work with
Yes,
your
absolutely.
passion. And I know not everyone has the ability to do that, but I think, like we mentioned, like talking about tools such as AI,
Yeah.
or I know like you kind of got your start like dabbling in Web3 and blockchain. Like just there's so
Yes.
many different types of technology now that just make things, it's more possible now than ever
Absolutely.
before.
Absolutely. It is all there. It feels like between blockchain, AI, like there's so many different pieces now that are yeah, that can make a lot of things possible where we thought maybe that wasn't the case.
That leads me to my next question. So, do you think the
Sure.
next wave of successful artists will be tech savvy first and then musicians second? This podcast is brought to you by Dunback Meadow, the platform built for creators who want real value from their work. Whether you make music, art, 3D models, videos, or AI agents, Dunback Meadow lets you upload your work, cite your terms, and earn fairly when others use it. Create your free account today at dunbackmeadow.com and start earning from what you create. Now, on with the show.
I will say that if you're just someone who is a musician or you create art, whatever, I think the art is first and foremost. But I think it is worth the time to understand the infrastructure. Because if you're an artist and you're looking at monetizing, you need to understand systems like blockchain for distribution, right? No
Mhm.
middleman. This is just you and your and the people who appreciate what you're creating.
Exactly.
So I would say creator first, but definitely understanding the infrastructure for your own well-being, for your own
Mhm.
for your own sanity, really.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I agree. And I also think on the other hand, it's like
Yes.
maybe, there's people grew up with different childhoods, different experiences, access to different technologies, education.
Yes.
So maybe in a way, from people joining the whole tech community, maybe that's how they find out that they have an artistic talent of some sort that they didn't even realize was there.
Absolutely. That's a great point. Yeah.
If you could redesign the system from scratch, what would you
Yes.
change? And by system, I mean, the normal way of getting your music out there is to be posting on all your big platforms,
Platforms.
and then
Yes.
from there posting on larger music distribution platforms as well. How would you redesign that? Because as you know, we're releasing our music on all these large platforms.
Yes.
And I mean, on social media platforms, we don't get money, or unless we have at least 10,000 followers. And even then, it's
Yeah.
very little. Music distribution platforms, anyone can put their music on there or their art. You will make money right away, but it's also very, very little. It's like, what is it? 1 cent, 5 cents per
Yeah. It's like
stream, or something like that.
fractions of a penny. Fractions of
Yeah.
a yeah.
Yeah.
So I know there's a lot of moving pieces right now in terms of like what courts are looking at in terms of AI content and all this kind of thing. But if I was to say, if you redesign the system, and I'm kind of incorporating this into my own workflow right now, I'm thinking about authorship first because the art that I put out, whether it's sound, visual, whatever, for me it's like if I'm inspired to put something out, I want to be able to put it out, and then let's just say maybe there's an opportunity to monetize later on down the road, then that's the opportunity. But for me, I'm thinking about like this. So create a piece of work. Then I think the move is to timestamp it. So a platform like Dunback Meadows, where authorship, you can timestamp your authorship, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's now public on the blockchain, immutable,
Mm-hmm.
so that you can say, yes, this is something that I created. And then you have your metadata, what tools were used, just time stamping, so you have authorship
Mm-hmm.
and provenance built in.
Yep.
And
No one can
then
take it away from you.
exactly. And then when you have the work finished that are timestamped, then it's like, okay, cool. Do we want to list it on Dunback? Do we want to list it on XRP Cafe? Because for me, how I got into the blockchain space was researching Ripple and
Mm-hmm.
XRP and understanding the problem they were solving with cross-border payments. But also on the platform, just like Dunback, it's like, okay, cool. You can list your art. You can set your royalties.
Mm-hmm.
You can set the amount.
Yep.
And so I think if I could redesign the system from scratch, it would be like that. It would be create your art on whatever platform, AI, traditional workflows, whatever. Timestamp it on the blockchain because now you have authorship there for you, and then list it on the different marketplaces where it's you and your fans. You can absolutely still post and share on the traditional Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, because that's sort of just like for me, I use these as exposure. But for
Right.
the people who really rock with you, they're going to be like, okay, cool, I want to get that piece of art from
Yeah.
you,
I want to
and
support
that's
you.
and they want to support you. And
Yeah.
I think if the artists depend less on the systems in place and more around the systems that are up and coming, that give us the direct to fan connection. I think that's what the ideal situation looks for artists like that are coming up.
This has been a really great talk, actually.
No, I
Um,
appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate the energy, Lauren.
I love it. What advice would you give to an artist who feels discouraged by low payouts and algorithm dependence? And then I'm going to actually add a second part.
Sure.
What advice would you just give to someone who wants to create in general, but maybe they have fear of posting, or maybe they don't even, like we said, have the tools to create?
Yeah. I would say that if you're in this for just like how can I make money as fast as I can, it's not going to work. But if you're someone who is you enjoy creating and you really you're putting out work that you genuinely believe in, you have your social platforms to put it out, and then you have the platforms like Dunback to list your art so that people can purchase it directly from you. Like I think if you're fearful, it's because you're thinking about the old system. And if you're hopeful, you understand what's coming down the pipeline. Like there are incredible platforms out there right now that are solving this for artists who are not chasing algorithms or maybe have big budgets to spend on marketing. You just want to create
Mhm.
art, put it out, share it, and if someone says I like that, cool. It's listed here, and here's the
Mhm.
price. And
What would you say
um,
to the discouraged artist?
well, I mean, if it's art that you want to create and it's something that really like you would create art regardless, experiment with tools. There's a lot of tools. You said Suno. There's other platforms where you get free trials to try the tools out. Because I think if you're someone who you have a vision and you want to execute and you play around with these platforms, all things considering, one cost, right? Like you said
Mhm.
Suno is like 10-15 bucks a month.
I
And
think
I'm
so, yeah.
and while I'm not saying that is a barrier, but what I'm saying is that compared to how the old structure was set up, like with different software and
Mhm.
different tools, like I feel like the barrier is much lower now for entry,
Yeah.
and it's really just finding your own lane, like finding the tools that you want to use and experimenting. And a lot of this you can do for free, at
Mhm.
least a start. And so I think that's
Mhm.
that's that's my thought behind that.
You can actually, not a lot of people know this, you can create your own music on Dumback Meadow, but that's just more of a for fun feature. It's not something that you can actually monetize. But
Oh,
if
that's
you're,
that's crazy. I had no idea. I had no idea that was a thing.
yeah, if you want to go, I'll leave a link in the description as
Yeah.
well. But if you just want to go and play around with it, again, you can't use it, like you can't sell it on the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
platform. But I mean, if you just want to get creative, maybe, get some inspiration
Sure. Yeah,
from
yeah,
a track,
yeah.
yeah, go have at it.
That is really cool. Yes, you should definitely plug that because that you just lowered the barrier to entry there.
It's free to use,
It's free
and
to
it's free
use.
to
Yeah.
join Dumback Meadow.
Yeah.
So
Very
no
cool.
excuses.
Very cool.
Awesome. All right, Ravi. Well, this was really great. Great conversation. I feel like we should have you on again in the future and just
Sure.
see where your art's taken off and see if you've created anything new. And I don't
Absolutely.
know.
Yeah, I would definitely be back anytime you want to talk about all things art, blockchain, whatever. I'm here. And
This is
I'm also
great.
looking forward to seeing how Dunback evolves because I think this is needed for artists like you and I. So shout out to George and the team there, and
Definitely.
you for putting this
Thanks.
together.
Thank you. No, this is great. We're so glad that we were able to showcase you. And yeah, that's why we're here. We are here to represent our artists and yeah, just give recognition. And because I feel like there's just not enough of that. So
Yeah, awesome.
thanks for listening to the Dunback Meadow podcast. If today's conversation inspired you, start your own creative journey with us at dunbackmeadow.com, where your work is valued, protected, and yours to control, and where your creations work for you. See you in the next episode.